So the Depp and Heard trial has reached its conclusion. Cue the collective outcry from women who last scored dick before US soldiers entered the Iraq War, conveniently ignoring that Depp was the wronged party here, and plenty of females actually identified more with the male in this case, but you have a better chance of seeing Peter fucking Pan change Amber's bedsheets before the mainstream media points that one out. Now, before I get into this, a formal warning. I am likely going to swear excessively about halfway through this, so there you go. Because I think the atmosphere surrounding this, the perceived cultural implications of this event, is more interesting than the trial itself. Now, I didn't speak much on this. Celebrity gossip, not exactly my thing, nor did I watch much of it. Didn't need to. If something interesting happened, Aiden would explain it to me, often in fastidious detail because she is crazy. But I did catch a bit here and there watching Nick Recada's law streams. Good guy, very entertaining streams, and there were some pretty funny moments in the trial. But it was a hot topic issue culturally, so naturally, by the laws of eyeballs, it must permeate the media cycle eventually, with BS headlines such as, "Why does it seem like the whole internet is Team Depp?" Well, that's actually very easy to explain, mainstream media. You see, anyone could tune in and watch the evidence presented in the damn trial. Now, recall listening to people saying they didn't have skin in the game, no horse in the race, so to speak of, but the more they watched, the more the evidence presented overwhelmingly favored Johnny Depp. He was clearly the wronged party. Johnny Depp is a sweet, charming guy, and Amber Heard, on the other hand, is a vindictive narcissist. She is an asshole. I know for you incontinent sociopathic types inhabiting the ecosphere of the mainstream media, the very concept of presenting the population with facts and evidence and letting people draw their own conclusions scares the bejesus out of you because you will lose power and influence. And so they have to smear people like Nick because we know how this tired old cliche goes. Anyone who opposes these imbeciles are crazed far-right wingers. I do love how if you take people with mercilessly rigid ideological persuasions, ones that require them to distort and ignore every facet of objective reality, and place them next to people who don't do that, the ones who don't do that come off looking sane and rational. Funny how that works. Far as the internet gang is concerned, you can watch someone like Nick, who brings on guests and everyone involved is a lawyer and they discuss the merits of the cases in real time in a humorous and entertaining way, and you contrast that with some boring empty corporate suit in the mainstream media who is trying to condense hours of trial footage into a politically driven soundbite, you have no hope in hell of scoring any influence with that crowd. The mainstream media don't have the resources, the finesse, or frankly talent to compete with the YouTube community. They will get buried every time. Which brings me to the media's outrage on this. Oh, this is a defeat for sexual abuse victims. Society is skewed in favor of men. Shut the fuck up. I am sick to death of these fucking sensationalist bullshitters who politicize every fucking event into ammo for their bullshit culture wars. Shut the fuck up and fuck off. You have insane delusional retards who try and cram this into everything. Look at this. I'm not even going to read that. These people aren't worthy of being on the receiving end of my ire. They are nothing short of pathetic. Oh, this is a sad end for the Me Too movement. Fuck off and get fucked. The Me Too movement was a fucking joke, long outstaying its welcome. Oh, powerful men exploit their positions for personal gain. No shit. And then you had all of these photos of women all palling around with said powerful men. So they knew what was going on, but they didn't say a damn word. Because Hollywood will gladly ignore every morally egregious act to score what would ultimately be some rapacious gain. Shockingly, it turns out, Hollywood is not a holy bastion of ethical moral behavior. Who'd have thought? So please forgive me if I found your outcries ever so hollow, you disingenuous bunch of pricks. The Me Too movement should have died off after the Kavanaugh debacle. All of those allegations were dropped from the news cycle the second he was elevated onto the Supreme Court. If that didn't wake you up to the fact that the whole movement was nothing but a misshapen tool for cheap political gain, you're not paying attention. Before it was don't say anything, you have more to gain personally away from the public eye. Now it's the exact opposite. Now that society has incentivized and monetized victimhood, every minuscule offense is amplified to the extreme, all to gain money and attention. You have people picking on old wounds for new gains. We have organizations devoted to this craft that's called BLM. And then stupid individual cases like Juicy Smoulier. And even stupider cases like the people who fake hate crimes by trying to draw a swastika. I must admit I love those. They're hilarious. How do you scream Nazi and fascist all damn day, but you can't draw two sets of 3 lines at a 90-degree angle and overall the whole thing at 45 degrees, and you still end up drawing some cocked up Buddhist symbol? That's an outstanding level of stupidity. Now here is where I deviate from most people, probably because I don't work in the mainstream, so I don't feel the need to embellish every minute detail and draw things out and make them appear much more influential than they really are. Because when it comes to modern times, today's society is loaded to the brim full of hyper-driven consumers of drama, and because there is an endless supply of it, people overdose on it. As a consequence, society has the collective attention span of a 5-year-old downing a mega pint of espresso and gin. The only way events like this have any kind of significance is if it happens to spawn similar events, consistently reoccurring within a certain span of time. Otherwise, they're mere one-off events. They simply don't have the staying power when they're competing with an endless stream of other events in a cycle. Case in point, look how quickly the window of opportunity slammed shut on the Texas shooting, literally mere hours because the Depp trial took precedence. So naturally, this is what is going to happen from all of this. Nothing. Nothing at all. Johnny will get his 15 minutes of fame, or 15 seconds it will likely feel like, and this will be forgotten within a few days, to be swept up like a wave that brings the next thing that will catch the attention of the masses. Such is the modern day cycle. I have been your shiny utensil. That is all for today, and I will see you next time.